Today is 2,779 days in a row that I've exercised every single day. But the subject for today's episode is I have back fat. And I'm going to talk to you about a problem I've been having, a challenge that I just recognized, and I'm going to show you a simple strategy today about how you can see exactly where you are and then make a really good plan to help you get where you want to go. I know you're going to love the show.
Cowboy.
Welcome to a daily dose of greatness quest with your host, Trevor Crane, my daddy. He is going to help you take your life and business to the next level.
Here I come to save the day.
Trevor Crane here, 11-time #1 best-selling author and the founder of Epic Author Publishing, coming to you live every day so you can plug in every day to build your ideal business so you can live your ideal life.
If my daddy can do it, then anybody can do it because he's a weirdo.
You're supposed to make me sound cool.
Okay, so number one, I strongly advise that what you do today is that you look in the mirror. A few years ago, over 2,779 days ago, I was coming off the back of a bankruptcy. I was dating a new gal who I really liked, and I was kind of surprised that she wanted to hang out with me because I'd lost everything. I'd filed a $2.2 million bankruptcy. I was homeless at the time, staying at friends' houses, either on one in the attic, in the basement, and my friend's mom's daughter's bedroom. Kicked the daughter out. Wasn't like that. And I was looking at my life, and I knew what I wanted to create. I knew that I was looking at the woman I was with and thought, I might like to spend the rest of my life with this gal. This was the first woman that I was genuinely considering asking to marry me, and I was grateful to be with her, but I didn't have a pot to piss in. And so 2,779 days ago, I was asked a question in a book. And the question was just about discipline. In fact, it didn't really ask me a question. It just talked about the value of discipline. And I found myself getting caught up on how to define it. I didn't even know, I couldn't even read the assignment because I hated discipline so much. At the time, I'd had this internal mantra that I am consistently inconsistent. And I liked being somebody that could commit to something for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year, whatever it is. And then I couldn't wait for the diet to be over, for the discipline to be over, for the consistency to be over, so I could go back and have some freedom. So I didn't recognize what discipline was. I'd, in some regards, taken it out of my vocabulary. So I might be a little slow, but for 3 days, I stumbled and I fretted. And I got confused, and I sought for an answer of what discipline meant to me, or what I wanted it to mean to me. And I decided that what it meant was something very simple. Can't believe it took me 3 days to figure it out. But it was that it's doing something every day. But it's not just doing something every day. Like I brush my teeth every day. I take a crap every day. Like that wasn't it. I was like, well, what does discipline really mean? It's doing something that is good for me, good for others, and good for the greater good. And then I thought that what discipline really meant was the consistency of doing it every day. So then I was looking at this new definition, and I recognized that I didn't have this in my life. I had little flickers of it in my life when it had showed up, but for the most part, that's not what I was demonstrating. And my pattern of I'm consistently inconsistent was something that was absolutely 100% sabotaging my success. So I decided that I needed to draw a line in the sand and that I would just pick something that I could be committed to and disciplined to. And at the time, I just decided I was going to do it for 90 days. That would be a challenge for me. And a buddy of mine named Javen Kayama, who lives in Hawaii, had just started this P90X 90-day workout challenge or something like that. And I remembered I was jealous because I found him and he was on day 70 or day 80 or day 90 of his 90-day challenge. And I was like, man, I wish that I was like Javen. I wish I had committed to a workout. Like, he's ahead of me. He's winning. And I need to commit to something. And what would be good for me, good for others, good for the people I care about, and good for the greater good. And I needed, again, to come up with something simple. And so what I came up with was just exercise every day. Now, I heard Tony Robbins say that in a speech one time, that when he was a younger man, he decided he was going to commit to exercising every day in a given year. And so I thought that was ridiculous at the time. Like, it's not appropriate for you to exercise every day. You need to rest and blah, 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 blah. So I had all this internal dialogue, but I said, fuck it, I'm just going to do this thing. So I decided to exercise every day, and I made myself really simple rules that for exercise, that meant that I was going to focus on my health and focus on moving my body and focus on doing something healthy for it, whether it's running or exercising or doing martial arts or playing sports or whatever it is, for 20 minutes a day. So thus began my journey. And I got really attached to this number. And you know, lo and behold, a lot of things have changed in the last 2,779 days. I'm married now to that woman I just told you about. I have a phenomenal business. We live in what I think for my wife and I is a dream house. We live in a great community. Right now I'm walking around a golf course while I'm talking to you, and just everything around me is beautiful. My son is now 4, almost 5 months old. My daughter's 11 years old and has 10 number one best-selling books. I have 11 best-selling books. Like, I can go on. And most of these things come from a ripple effect that took place when I decided to draw a line in the sand and say, enough is a fuck enough. Now, that said, I've created some things that I'm proud of and that I'm happy with and whatnot. But just the other day, I looked in the mirror. And I didn't look in the mirror flexing up my chest, which I often do, and look at me from the front. And I still can recognize a couple of abs at the top of my old six-pack. I used to have a six-pack or an eight-pack of abs. And I try to portray myself as a healthy guy. I talk about how I exercise consistently, and and I carry myself in such a way that I wear clothes that are form-fitting. And so I don't think anybody would say that I'm fat. But I decided the other day to just tell the truth and look in the mirror and see what's really there. Because where I'm at today is not even close to where I want to go. Like, not even fucking close. Like, I am so proud of where I have come, and I know the recipe that has helped me create the results that I've got. But for me to become the man that is going to lead my family and have the discipline to go ahead and make a difference in my life, other people's life, and the greater good, I must grow. I just watched that movie 300 the other day, this maybe about a month ago now, about the Spartan warriors going to war. And I recognize that I want a 300x growth of where I'm at and what I've accomplished for myself, my family, my friends, my community, the greater good. And so I decided to just look in the mirror, because I'll tell you, I do not have Spartan abs. And as I started to look in the mirror at the lines of my face, the thinness of my hair, the fat that I have around my middle. Now, here's the thing. I am not bitching and I am not complaining. That is not what I'm talking about. I am suggesting that what you do today is that you look in the mirror and be proud of what you have accomplished and where you have gone. But be real and be authentic and list the facts. What are the facts? Look in the mirror. And don't sugarcoat it. Don't flex it up and try to make it better than it is. Look at what you really got. So I actually looked at my body, butt naked, and I looked at my abs. I looked at my front, sides, back, and everything. And I didn't stand up with my chest out, my shoulders back. I stood there and I looked at what I really had. And I have back fat. And it's more back fat than I actually have. I've been looking at my little donut that I sometimes tease that's right around my belly button. And nobody freaking cares about this shit, but I do, because it's a standard that I do not want to hold for myself. I don't want that there. Now, if I didn't give a shit about that, then that would be one thing. And it's not about whether or not you fucking see it. Nobody is seeing my abs. It's just that it's not a standard that I want for myself. And I have deluded myself for 2,779 days or something to that effect, that my exercise for my relaxed exercise, that I'll go for a run or I'll walk at Disneyland, could be an exercise one day, or sometimes I'm doing push-ups at the airport because I am traveling and I'm doing something, whatever it is, that was enough. But that does not push me to be a Spartan warrior. That does not push me to go to the next level of where I need to be. That's just a fact. And as I looked in the mirror, I didn't like everything that I saw. I love that guy that I saw in the mirror, and that's great. But here's what I strongly advise you do, and here's your challenge for the day. And actually, I'll give you your daily question. Where are you today? And recently I've been working with the Wake Up Warrior movement and Garrett White, and being focused on, he talks about 4 areas of your life: body, being, balance, and business. So take a moment and look in the mirror genuinely, maybe start with your body, and describe what you see. What are the facts and what are the feelings? That's step number 1, to go ahead and recognize where you are so you can plan where you want to go. And so factually, I've got a donut around my tummy that doesn't even close to the back fat I have on myself. And it makes me feel like a fucking loser. It makes me feel like I've been lying to myself. Now, it doesn't discount the fact that I've created some amazing things. 2,779 days. I keep saying that because I just looked it up on my phone. I keep track of it on there on my daily calendar. And I'm very proud of that. So see, I'm recognizing the fact that I've accomplished amazing things, and I'm really proud of it. And I should be proud of what I've done. And I'm happy about where I am. I am extremely grateful about the world that I see around me, my son, my wife, my daughter, and all that I've accomplished. But it's not even close about where I need to go. And so I'm writing down the facts and the feelings that I have around where I really am today. That is step number 1, and that is my challenge for you today. Look in the mirror and tell me what the facts are and the feelings. You don't need to tell me, you're just telling yourself, and write this down in your journal. Now, step number 2. It's actually, what's crazy about this. Oh, and by the way, you do that in body, being, balance, and business. Being is your connection with your spirituality and happiness and purpose and God and whatever it is that you believe in. Balance is your family, the people that you love, your significant other, your kids, your friends, whatever your circle of influences that is immediately around you. And then business is obviously business. Typically, I'm working, most people that pay attention to what I'm doing are entrepreneurs, business owners, or they're trying to break out and become entrepreneurs and business owners. Or they're entrepreneurs and they still hold a standard for themselves that even though they work with another company, that they are running their own business inside of that company. They take responsibility for their position and their lives. So body, being, balance, and business. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is the harder step. And this is freaking insane because it doesn't seem like it should be. But step number 2 is, where do you want to go? Like, what do you want moving forward? And I think you need to be very clear and just do the same thing with facts and feelings. What are the facts of where you want to go? And how will that make you feel? Now, just recently, I did an exercise like this when I went to a seminar or event. And I've been going to a lot of seminars and events lately. I haven't done that for about 15 years, where I've gone to them consistently. Like every month, every quarter, going to an event. One of the first personal development seminar I ever went to was to a Tony Robbins event, and it changed my shit, everything. And for the next 2 years, basically every single month, I was on the road at an event with Tony, T. Harv Eker, some personal development program and training and seminar somewhere, and that changed my life. So I recognized that what I need to provide in my business is an opportunity to help connect with people, my clients, and give them an experiential experience to help them quantum leap their results. And I'm doing this myself. I'm traveling once or twice a month. I'm going to events around the country. I've been in Vegas, I've been in Texas, I've been in California, and I'm going to events. And at one of these events, I was challenged to consider, what are my goals and what is it that I want? And what's crazy about this exercise is that it's not as easy as it might seem, for me at least. So that's one of the reasons why I think you should work with a mentor, go to events, find somebody to help you figure this shit out. But you can also do this on your own. So you can just have your own come to Jesus meeting with yourself. You can close your eyes. You can try to visualize and create what you want. And if it takes you a couple days to figure it out, that's okay. But I want you to get clear on are the facts of where you want to go. And you can also pick this in your body, being, balance, and business. Because if you know where you are, all you really need to now know is where you want to go. But it's the facts and the feelings. How are you going to feel when you're there? Now, I was going through one of these exercises to try to figure out what I want. And I remembered a vision that I had for myself over a decade ago. Before I had my daughter, before I knew my wife, before I had created the types of success that I have in my life today. And I had created this vision for what I wanted. And I imagined a villa or some kind of house that was on the side of a mountain in Europe. And I could see this huge mountain up on one side and then the Mediterranean Sea on the other. And then I landed in a helicopter on top of this villa. And as I walked down the stairs of the villa to go into the house, 2 dogs greeted me on the way, and they were, you know how dogs are, they're real happy to see you. And my 2 dogs greeted me. And then I walked into the kitchen where this beautiful light was streaming into the kitchen. And I kissed the lips of my 2 children. And they were eating breakfast, and I could taste the strawberries on their lips from the strawberry pancakes. And the nanny that we had working for us took my kids into the other room and took care of them. And I ravished my wife in the kitchen. Now, this is a dream that I had that I would sometimes go through and visualize when I was probably late 20s or 30s. And I would just I decided to create a result of what I wanted in the future as a vision to pull me forward. And I haven't thought of that vision for years, but it just came up to me recently. So what I would highly recommend you do is describe the facts of what is going to be in play in different areas of your life and come up with a very visceral, real experience of how that's going to make you feel. The man I am to create that reality, or the man that I need to become to create that reality, is really important to me. And it's important to me because I know that it's important to my family, the people to myself, the people that I care about, and the greater good. And for the first time in a long time, I am compelled and feeling pulled forward to try to make that dream a reality. And in a very real sense, ladies and gentlemen, I plan on doing this in the next 2 years. Inside of the next 2 years, it is game on. I have my son. I have my daughter. Now, in the visualization, I had 2 young children, not my 11-year-old, who at that time will be 12 or 13, but we will see. But what I strongly recommend that you do is step number 2. If you know where you are and you're genuine about it, that's why I said look in the mirror. Then make sure that you get really clear about where you want to go and why you want to get there. And it's just the facts and the feelings. And now step number 3. Step number 3, these are all part of your challenge today. This is kind of a big one. And I know I've been talking for a little bit here, so I commend you for hanging with me. But what I highly suggest you do next is just think about, I want you to, step number 1 is you look in the mirror. Step number 2 is that you look to the future. And step number 3 is that you look at the people that you care about and the people that you want to make a difference in their lives. I shared recently that a friend of mine, a client of mine, committed suicide. His name was Steve. Went by Steven, actually. And I didn't know he was suicidal. I didn't know he was going through the challenges he was going through. He seemed to smile every day that I knew him, and he seemed to have a positive outlook on life. And he stepped in front of a truck and took his life. And so when I look around me to the people to who I care about, it is everyone that I have the privilege of coming in contact with. It truly is. I love people, always have. I find a way to go ahead and fall in love with people. When I was dating chicks, man, I fell in love with everybody. When I meet a little kid, I fall in love with them. When I meet an old person, I fall in love with them. When I talk to someone about their business and their life and what they want and where they are, I fall in love with them. I'm just a love bug. And as I look around me, I see that I have the ability to connect with and communicate with and to make a difference in people's lives. And maybe if I was playing my game at a better level, at a higher level, I would have been able to affect Stephen's life so he didn't take his own. Or maybe I would have inspired somebody who has the story to write their book and to connect and reach out and step outside of their comfort zone and connect with the people around them that might have saved Stephen's life, or more importantly, will save someone else's life. See, I'm really grateful about what I do today. I've been a business consultant now for years. I've helped people make more money and grow their business. And when I wrote my first book, I 10x'd my income. My wife wrote her first book, and between the two of us, we added a zero to the back end of our income in the next 12 months. What I realized is that the power of storytelling is one of the coolest skills that we can offer people, and it is everything. It is what moves us. It's what moves me. It's what builds brands. It's what builds marketing. And I now get the chance to help people with their storytelling and how to make a message, craft and create a message that matters, and create a profitable path to help people monetize their mission. And the cool thing about that, one of the coolest things, is that this helps us impact the world. I believe that we all have a duty and responsibility to figure out how to tell that story, to create a message that matters and create a profitable path to monetize our mission, because we can't be out there broke and make it and help people. We've got to create abundance in all areas of our lives. So that's it. That's all I got for you today. I've got back fat. Not happy with it. And I'm glad I'm not happy with it, because it's told me I got to up my game. Today I got up at 4:30 in the morning. I went to go exercise. I was exhausted. I crashed on my couch before I could get my day started. I'm not trying to tell you, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, that I don't fuck up. Like, I probably shouldn't have gone back to sleep this morning. But when I did my exercise today, I pushed. Not only did I run on the treadmill for 20 minutes, because I got my 20 minutes in. I'm in the middle of making sure I run more and I get more cardiovascular work. But then I worked out with weights for another 20, 30 minutes. I'm pushing myself. The bare minimum of what I've done for 2,000 plus days in a row is not enough. It's time for me to take it to the next level so that I can become 300 times the man that I am today, the leader that I am today, the father that I am today, the lover that I am today, the husband that I am today, so that it makes a difference in my kid's life, in your life, and in the people that you and I have the privilege of coming in contact with. So that's all I got for you today. I'm going to be sharing with you some of my most scary, vulnerable stories that sometimes I've rarely shared. So the next week or so, instead of there being all happy, pappy bullshit, I'm going to talk to you about some of the most challenging shit I've ever gone through, some of the stuff that scared the shit out of me to actually share with another human, because it is time for me to come clean, whatever the fuck that means. Just for me. This is a gift for me. If you want to be on this journey with me, then join me tomorrow on another daily dose of greatness quest. And I'm going to share with you not just something that shares with you my story, but what I've learned about it and how that's inspiring me to take my life and business to the next level. That's what this show is about helping you have more. All right, that's all I got for you today, and I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow.
To get even more awesomeness, which means all my best stuff, download my app by texting Trevor to 36260. It will show up right on your cell phone. Just text message the word Trevor to 36260. Talk to you soon.